Hey guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and I'm going to give my first impressions on the Samsung Galaxy A32. This phone is on sale at the time of this video. I'll have some links down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. The price is around $270, which is what I personally paid for this phone. Now you may be thinking to yourself, Shane, didn't you just check out the Galaxy A32? That is somewhat true because I checked out the Galaxy A32 5G. And the reason I'm making this video to begin with is because there are around 20 differences between this A32 4G and the A32 5G, which I recently checked out in a previous video. It is astonishing how many differences there are, considering it's the same exact name, just not having the 5G in it. So we definitely got to check this guy out, see what's going on with it. So we have the awesome violet color here. Again, $270 for this phone. My phone here has 128 gigabytes of storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM. And it is a global model, so it doesn't matter where you live. If you would pick up this phone, it's going to be the same in terms of your bands and your connectivity, no matter where you live. On the top here, let's see what we get in this box. We have some paperwork in here. Have our phone on top here. Take a look at that violet color in a second. Let's see what we get in the box here. We have a Type A to Type C charging cable. We have a 15-watt power brick in the box. Excellent to see a charger in the box, in addition to a SIM ejection tool. But that's going to be it for everything that comes in the box with the phone. So now let's go ahead and check out the A32. Wow. First impressions, this violet looks amazing. This is a very nice color. It's just very nice, very clean. It almost has a lavender look to it. It's a cool new look. I'm really digging it. Let me know what you guys think about this new design in the comments below. We have some shiny plastic sides, and the back does also feel plastic, even though the online sources I looked at says it has a glass back. To me, this feels like a plastic back. Taking a quick tour around the phone, on the right side here, we have our power button and our volume rockers. On the top, we just have a mic sitting in the middle there. We can also get a good look of how far out those cameras are sticking out of the phone. It's really not all that bad. On the bottom, we have a headphone jack, another mic, our Type-C port for 15-watt fast charging, and our single bottom firing speaker. And on the left side at the top, we have our SIM tray. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. See what we get in here. We have a micro SD card slot, and we have 2 SIM slots as well. So very nice in terms of additional storage and having a dual SIM setup if you need that. But now let's go ahead and boot up the Galaxy A32. While the A32 is booting up, something I noticed between the 4G and this 5G version is there's a pretty significant size difference considering it's the exact same named phone. So you can see here in terms of the height that the Galaxy A32 5G is taller than the 4G version, and it's also heavier. I'm not sure why that's the case, as these have the same exact size battery with the 5,000 milliamp hour battery, so there's no weight difference there. Could just be in the sizing of the phone itself. There are a lot of differences going on here with this 4G version. The thing that popped out to me right away is this teardrop notch design. You can see here that it's a little different here on the 5G version. It's a little more rounded out. I personally prefer the look of that notch opposed to this one. This one feels a little more intrusive into your display, but honestly, once you get into real life day-to-day use, it's really not going to be that big of a difference. On the bottom here, we have just a little bit of chin, but on the sides and the corners, it's very slim and rounded bezels. Also, this 5G version has a slightly larger screen at 6.5 inches opposed to 6.4 here on the A32 4G, but there are some major differences that go in favor of this 4G version over the 5G in terms of the display. So we'll check out those differences once I go ahead, put all my information into this phone, get it all set up, play around with it for a while, and then I'll come back with my first impressions on the Galaxy A32 4G. All right, so I've been using the Galaxy A32 for a little while here, and I'm ready to share some of my first impressions with you guys. So first and foremost, getting into the phone itself, we do have facial recognition on this phone, so we'll go ahead and test that out first. you can see that it gets you into the phone pretty quickly. We also have a fingerprint sensor built into the bottom of the display, so we'll go ahead and test that out now. Also works pretty quickly. And it's also pretty accurate too. I did add my fingerprint twice just to make sure that no matter what way you're putting your thumb onto the sensor, it's going to recognize it. And you can see it gets you in relatively quickly. Now, first and foremost, the thing I am absolutely loving on this phone is that we have a very nice display. We have a 1080p AMOLED display that also has 90 Hz refresh rate. This is actually the very first Samsung phone I've ever used with a 90 Hz refresh rate display, and I must say it is a great upgrade over a conventional 60 Hz display. It isn't as smooth, of course, as 120 Hz, but I would prefer to have this middle ground 90 Hz. Just it gives you a smoother experience and it's not going to destroy your battery life in the process. So far, initially here, general use has been fine. So starting off with YouTube, scrolling through your feed, you're going to be able to see that 90 Hz refresh rate. It is nice and smooth. And again, having that AMOLED display, it is just such a nice bonus to have. I've had no issues at all as far as the display goes. So we do have our hole punch cut out here on the left just for a point of reference of how much that's going to dig into your display. I think the 6.4-inch display size is a great screen size for watching YouTube or Netflix or other video or media content on your phone. And like I said before, it's a bit smaller than the A32 5G, so you're losing 1/10 of an inch in screen size. But in exchange for that, you're getting a more compact phone in the hands. It's a great experience. I've really enjoyed watching YouTube so far on the A32. Jumping over to Google News here, I've had no issues either. The 90 Hz refresh rate is quite nice. I've also done a decent amount of gaming so far here, but I want to show you a couple games. We're going to jump into Call of Duty Mobile first. This is at the medium graphics settings as well as high frame rate settings, and it's honestly been better than I thought. There hasn't really been any major lag spikes. It's been running fine. And the audio quality on this phone is just okay. It's nothing to write home about. It's nothing spectacular. Honestly, I had a good time playing Call of Duty Mobile here initially on the A32. Jumping into some Stardew Valley here. This is a game that I show on pretty much every phone on my channel. This also passes my test of just general gaming performance. There is a little bit of lag when you're zooming in and out. If you're doing some light to medium gaming, like a light game Stardew Valley or something like Call of Duty Mobile, you're not going to have any major problems. Taking a look at the cameras here, we have a pretty decent setup. We have a 64 megapixel primary lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide lens, 5 megapixel macro lens in addition to a depth sensor. So while technically a quad camera setup, it's really just 3 cameras in addition to that sensor to give you better bokeh on your shots. Jumping into the cameras, you have a portrait mode and you're able to adjust how much bokeh effect you would like to have on those shots. Have our standard photo here with a wide angle option as well. And then we do have some zoom options, but these are going to be digital zoom. Have a 10 times here. It honestly doesn't look all too bad, but it is worth noting that we do not have any sort of optical image stabilization here. So you're just gonna have to hold your hands real steady to get a steady shot. Jumping over to our video mode, we have our ultra wide and then our same zoom options. We can also change our resolution up here at the top, and we have options of filming in 1080p 30 or 720p 30. And then jumping over to more here, we have AR Doodle, Pro Mode, Panorama, Food, Night Mode, Macro, Slow Motion, and Hyperlapse. Overall, a pretty decent camera system. So with all those things considered, first impressions here of the Galaxy A32, I am impressed with this phone. I like that this guy is coming in cheaper than the A32 5G. I paid around $330 for this phone, and this 4G version is about $270, so a pretty significant amount of savings, especially if you're not going to be using the 5G. Probably the biggest downside for me on this phone is the processor, the MediaTek Helio G80, and while I said it's fine in general day-to-day use, and I truly believe it is, the reason why I consider it such a big downside is because this phone is equipped with a 90 Hz refresh rate display, so you should always be able to enjoy that higher refresh rate display, but the reality is that at times there just is a little bit of lag or little stutters here and there depending on what you're doing with the phone, which I just don't think should be equipped with a 90 Hz refresh rate screen. Give us a little bit of a more powerful processor to fully enjoy all the specifications that this phone packs. But if we're looking at the whole entire package here and looking at it from an average consumer standpoint, I am really enjoying this phone. We have all the things you would need here. For example, the headphone jack. We have 15-watt fast charging to go with that 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I think battery life is going to be really good on this. We have a really bright screen at 800 nits. I've been enjoying how vibrant the display is with it being AMOLED and 1080p. I've been really enjoying the display experience more than anything on this phone. I'm really liking this new design that Samsung has brought to these A series phones. It's a really clean look. I'm a fan of this violet color. We have a little bit of flare here on the sides, even though it is all a plastic build. Getting into the phone has been pretty good. It gets the job done. The fingerprint sensor has been very consistent in my use case. And yeah, overall, I'm impressed with the A32 initially here. But what are your initial thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy A32? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to the Shane Symonds YouTube channel today, as only about 3.6% of you are subscribed to the channel. Hope to see you guys around for the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.